Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We're just sitting here talking about some secrets or some things normally are not publicized at this particular time. But they were not supposed to be secrets. They were not hidden in any way. So this is just a thought-provoking meeting with Dr. Pashaura Singh and myself, Professor Surinder Singh. I would like to welcome you to our network and system here in London. At the moment, we are working with West London University and working on Gurmat Sangeet. And Dr. Saab, you are in California someplace, yeah?
Thank you very much, Dr. Surinder Singh. It was a joyous occasion for me to visit Raj Academy, and I really appreciate your hospitality. It's an honor to be with you today and talk about some features of Gurmat Sangeet. First of all, I would like to present you my book, Life and Work of Guru Arjan,
Thank you.
that I wrote in 2006 as a tribute to Guru Arjan Dev Ji.
I read this book. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really nice.
If I can ask you first question about Raj Academy, what inspired you to establish this institution?
Dr. Saab, I was wandering around in UK, looking into that, what's going on. Really, I studied Indian music, Naad yoga, and musicology aspect of the composition. And when I went to Gurdwara or other musical center, I thought, what's going on? Because people were just giving, a composition, thoda bahta karwa liya, just giving a little bit of very little and charging the money. There were schools set up, there was huge centers were going on. And I clearly saw that how it will make a turn in this day and age where everything is going to go on internet. This is going to be everything will become a history. So
right.
I thought I need to do my bit. There is a story behind that there was a fire in a jungle and all the animals were hiding and running around, and there was one little bird called a hummingbird.
Right.
It will fly up and go to the lake and take a beak full of water and drop it on the fire. The animals got a little bit agitated.
Right.
They thought, what you think you're doing? This is going to put the fire off?
Right.
He said, no, I'm just doing my bit. And that inspired me, that I've got to do my bit.
Right.
Rest is on Guru Baba, that if there will be result, there will be result. If I will be wrong, there won't be result. Today we are world's biggest network in the Gurmat Sangeet, and that means...
Excellent. You're doing a wonderful job, actually. And you have, how many students have learned Gurmat Sangeet so far?
At the moment, we are active somehow related to Raj Academy, 3,000 plus.
Wow.
We have around 300 active students in Europe, 67 active students in North America, which are under training. But all these other 3,000, I said, they are actively involved in some sort of collaboration with Raj Academy. Either they're training, either they're manufacturing something, either they're building programs, or writing their books, and all of these things are happening.
Excellent. What is the scope for these students to find some kind of employment in this field?
Okay, we are working very hard, Dr. Saab.
Are you preparing Ragi Jathas? What are you doing?
I'm looking into the teachers and the intellectuals.
Okay.
I'm thinking that universities will have a platform for them as a musicologist, as a terminologist, as a scholars, as a music teachers. And also now we have set up G6 summits.
G6 summit?
Yeah, there are 6 countries.
What does that mean?
6 countries with the Raj Academy, they trained. They will put together their thoughts to the economics of the Gurmat Sangeet for the future. So how do we and what shall we do to make sure that employment is created and it's been safeguarded. So
Right.
our students don't just become, at this day and age, Ragi is a bottom end
Okay.
in the community. So we would like, if somebody would like to have 2 or 3 of the students who trained in Raj Academy to become the Ragis, then that's not a problem, but they have to provide like $40,000 to $50,000 today's
Right.
value
Yeah,
of salary to them, and they will not do anything else but their job role because they are specialized in one particular area. They're not tea makers. They're not the caretakers of the building.
Right.
They don't know how to repair, things. If toilets are broken or Pradhanji requires a cup of tea, they won't be able to provide those sort of things. So we have a first summit coming up in Atlanta, where Germany, Spain, India, England, Canada, and America will get together.
Okay.
We have Israel, Russia, Estonia, France to be added in at later stage. At the moment, we just picked up because these 6 countries have very strong hold. We are actively been working in these 6 countries.
What is your personal motivation, training, or any kind of link with any lineage? Number of times, we talk about Karanas, a particular Ragi belongs to that particular Karana, Dodar Tiksal, or Dandmi Tiksal, anything. Do you have any connection with any lineage, or it is purely your personal motivation and inspiration that brought you into this field?
In Indian classical music sector, I belong to Delhi Karana.
Okay.
In Indian classical aspect. In Gurmat Sangeet tradition, I belong to Sri Guru Granth Sahib. My guru, my teacher is Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Whatever is written in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, just to follow. I don't question that. It's very clearly defined what is what. So my Karana is Guru Nanak's Karana. It's what he started in a way, because all of my life now is based on one area, is Gurmat Sangeet. It's a tradition set up and started by Guru Nanak. I was seeking the art of life.
Okay.
I was looking for, when I was 9-year-old, I asked my grandmother. She asked me to do Raagas, and there was a shabad, Asa Mahalla Panjwa Pai Prapat Manukh Devi. I said, okay, I understand what Pai Prapat is, Saranjam is, all of these things, but what do you mean by Asa?
Asa, okay.
And that's where my journey started. I wasn't interested only in the terminology. I was sa re ma pa dha sa, that's a terminology, but I wanted to find out when I will put these together, sa and re and ma and pa, what will happen then? The musicology aspect,
Right.
the angle. So how do I compose myself using the terminology of asa and musicology of asa and shabad? What impact it will leave on my life. And I started my journey actually at the age of 13.
Okay.
Contemplation started at 9, but it took me so many years to get accepted by my teacher. Age of 13, I started my education, stayed with my teacher 5 years in Guru Shishya system.
Okay.
While I was finishing my materialistic education too, of degree in economics,
Okay.
masters in music. Then I came here, also studied in education, that how can I share.
Okay.
So that is basically, nothing unusual, normal as anybody else is out there doing.
I came to know about you for the first time when I read a newspaper, news item that you have received honorary degree from a British university, and with your photograph and all that event, that was a very inspiring moment for me, at least at that time. So I was really feeling proud that at least a Sikh turban guy has been recognized by a British university. That was a momentous occasion for you, I think. How do you describe that experience?
I think, what actually I was hungry for, and still I am, is for the blessings from my elders, also the people, the pillars of community. You guys have worked so hard in a Western academia, very hard, and it was a shocking news to me,
right?
Because my research was handed over to university, and I just suddenly received the news from my dean that I will be pulled into a professorship, where I thought, okay, one day maybe they, according, on my research, they give me a doctorate or something like that.
Right.
But a professorship in the British academia was, I took a blessing of my Guru Baba, saying, look, Surinder, you've got to work more hard, with more determination. It was a good news, but I didn't let it stop my journey. I mean, I took it from there as a fuel to thrive for the future.
What is the process that makes such decision? I mean, a university is a acknowledged institution, and they have procedures, processes to make a determination about any kind of recognition to be given to any person. How was that process? How did you got accepted in that process?
I think the scrutiny is there. They scrutinize every single angle of your life.
Right.
I found out afterwards that from my office they got every single bit I was working on,
right,
as in a future what I was going to do, and my old my research and everything which I submitted, and my office secretly was working with them in a way to
provide them information.
To provide them information about me, how I did the work, and it took 3 years.
Okay.
For them to decide. Okay. And this is what I was told at the end. I still don't know. I just took it. Okay, I mean, that's a great news for the world of musicology and Gurmat Sangeet.
Right.
And it wasn't something given to me. I think it was given to the world of Gurmat Sangeet musicology. Right. I don't accept that as something was, acknowledgement to me as a person. It was the work I did on 59 composition of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and how they came out, and all of that research. I think that was the main point.
Did they mention about your contribution in the field of Gurmat Sangeet and the Raga systems of Guru Granth Sahib?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
What are the privileges involved in your recognition?
Privileges now that we work with the academia, and something which was my dream to put everything into academic field.
Right.
That my job is to put whatever I found. So the future doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm not saying that everything I know is right, but there is some thought-provoking processes there.
Okay.
Now the future have to decide which way they want to take. There is a different philosophy, different approaches. At least now privilege is there that I can write something which will be acknowledged by academia. So a Western musicologist will be interestingly reading my paper and my book and the articles I write, and will be heard by unbiased authorities.
Yeah. That's a major achievement, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now I would like to ask you a question. How will you describe the distinctive features of Gurmat Sangeet? Is it, for example, different from Indian classical music or North Indian music? How will you place it in the historical context of North India?
It's completely different. Different in the middle area. I mean, when Indian music started, it wasn't different. When Indian music is now, where we look at it's completely different. When entertainment turned into entertainment,
Okay.
that's where it turned into Gurmat Sangeet. The philosophy of the art of life, where the composition of mind and soul to leave impact on the body.
Okay.
How did Guru use the sound current to compose? Man jeeta jagjeet, but how? And he defines all of the moods, that this is the process of your mind, this is the protocol of your soul. Can you communicate? And can you bring them on one platform, a shared platform? And if you can, the fruit will be incredible. Where Indian music of today is very entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah. Where Gurmat Sangeet of today is very entertaining, or should be entertaining wherever it is used. Where we look into terminology of Indian classical music and Gurmat Sangeet, there are differences but very similarities too, like
Right.
Wadi, Samvadi, Nyas and Wadi, Vivadi, Urgrah.
These technical terms are same.
Yeah. We don't have Asthai and Antra, we have a Rahaus and Pada. So there are some differences. We cannot bring anything in between composition because everything is written in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. So
Right.
we have to follow digit 1 as a Pada, 1, Rahau as a main course. Also digit 2 after the line means verse 2, verse 3, verse 4 in that.
Right.
On top, we have to follow, if it's written Asakivar, then we have to, follow that genre.
Right.
And if Tuni is written on top, that a particular tune, then we have to understand that and musicology and apply that. If Guru says Chant or Salok
Right.
or Sohila, we have to apply those things. Where in Indian music today, these restrictions are not there. There's a
Okay.
Shiv Mat, there's a Hanumat, there's Bharat Mat, all of this out there, but we don't have that. We have a Gurmat tradition, which was established by Guru Nanak Pasha, made a evidence out of that by Guru Arjan Pasha in Aad Beed, in Aad Granth, then given a Guruship by Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj to the people who want to follow and get the art of life out of it. Was given to them as a guru, the master, the spiritual guide, Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
You have used the phrase sound current. What do you mean by that?
Before Gurmat Sangeet tradition came in, there was like a Vaishnav or Bhakti movement. They were using music as a tool, the sound to express. We are all formation of sound. This is modern day science is a saying that everything is a sound current. Everything is a sound wave. When we are in a mother's womb, first faculty given to us by nature, by the Creator, is the ear, the hearing faculty.
Okay.
And Guru Nanak, when I look into the school, he very much first of all put the emphasis on listening skills.
Right.
Yeah. So gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao, dukh par har, sukh kar le jaye. That's his writing. The fifth body of Japji is a quote that sing and listen. But what singing mean? Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Sir Elton John, all of these people, they are singers.
Right.
Mean, is that singing or there's a different protocol? There is, everybody listens to music. You listen to music, listening to Punjabi Bhangra, that means we're going to go to Sachkhand, what it's going to do for me. So, sound current is, once you understand the ability of the sound flow, and if you can use that, before Guru Nanak, it was known as Naad Yoga.
Okay.
The being capable to communicate to yourself using sound. We're talking to each other, we're using the sound current, we're using a particular emotion to punctuate the language English we are using. So the pitch is going like, for example, sit down, sit down. same word,
Right.
but sound current differs now. It's
Right.
been rag is been changed to get the different meanings out. And musicology has been implemented for word to become alive.
Okay, so Naad is the technical term that you're using here. Sab Naad Ved Gurbani, Manrata Sarang Pani, or Gurmukh Nadang, Gurmukh Vedang, Gurmukh Rahasmai. So, are you saying that this Naad or sound current that you are translating this technical term is the basis of the whole creation, is the basis of all life, and is the basis of all beginnings of human life and everything?
Of course.
So you have put a lot of emphasis on listening, that this is much more important than even speaking, because there are 4 stanzas in Japji Sahib on listening. There is not a single stanza on speaking. And then, of course, Manne, it's a higher stage. So it means that in Gurmat Sangeet, the singing part as well as the listening part are equally important in the process.
Very important. In the world of Naad Yoga, the 70% is taken by listening skills. Composition will not happen at all if we are not open to listen to. We can only then manifest our thoughts in the formation of the singing if we have accepted listening before. Not hearing is not listening.
Right.
Yeah. So where hearing stops, listening begins, and where listening will take us. Listening is one pillar. There are 3 pillars for 4th pillar to be seen. Somebody took me to Taj Mahal to show me this, that the how it was set up from one angle or 4 angle from the ground. You can only see the 3 pillars, and the same way we can only see the 3 pillars in the musical world. 4th pillar is, I will call in Gurmat Sangeet as Gur Prasad, but the first pillar is called the Sunay.
Okay.
Second pillar is called Gaviye.
Okay.
3rd pillar is a silence.
Silence.
Without, between the 2 notes, there is a gap. There is a silence. The silence is a 10%, is very important for us to punctuate.
Okay.
And the 4th pillar, that composition, what you're going to get, what the manifestation of your Naad will transform everything, all of your formula to the ultrasound called Anhad.
Okay.
Yeah, and Anhad is very important. That's the goal. That's why all of this journey of Kirtan, that journey of sound, that's the philosophy Guru Nanak is saying, the ultimate friendship between soul and mind, so they don't have to quarrel anymore. The ultrasound applies there. The Anhad should strike there.
Anhad, I translate this as unstruck melody, or when I clap my hands,
This is not,
we strike, this produces sound. But Anhad is the sound produced without striking anything.
Dr. Sir, this is struck sound, right? The left and right hand side have struck, but the mind have sent the signal. Yeah. So the tantra, the protocol was applied to create the sound. As a yogi, you created a Naad. That to create this on purpose, then this is as a yogi's or Sikh's viewpoint. But now, if you can hear this without striking it, that is the Anhad, unstruck. But going back into the memories, going back into very much deeper into the contemplation, to hear that sound and enjoy exactly the same way. Like, if you close your eyes and I say, okay, go to your kitchen and pick up a knife and pick up an apple and cut it into pieces, that's possible. And the same way with the sound, that protocol is a protocol of Anhad. where it's no formation, but it is in your memory or it is in the universe, and that will take you into listening from Guru Nanak's, the Japji from, because sound doesn't die. That's why the NASA today or other space agencies are sending the sound signals. They are broadcasted on the radios in the space station. One of our CD will be sent into space by the Canadian airspace, Partal of Guru Arjun Pasha Raags Sarang.
That's
they're
wonderful.
they're going to play, and
Excellent.
I think that was an incredible gift once again. Wow, that's I think the sound current in that way, in Naad form or Anhad form, one day. It helped me. Well, I am very much convinced because it gave me my health. It gave me whatever I am today.
Right.
But it will help the humanity. My research took me toward the health angle from sound current. That the biggest killer on planet Earth, Dr. Saab, is stress. Stress is the mother to every single disease on the planet Earth. It's a silent killer. And Naad, Kirtan,
it's a healing.
The sound kills the stress. It's
Kills
a stress
stress.
killer. If you don't have stress, if all of the components will create the stress in your body, then those components have been dissolved or burnt by your capability to use sound current and turn those into emotion for expression. Wow, you don't have a problem. Man jittya gaya.
Yeah, right.
And jag bhi jittya gaya.
Yeah. In your conversation, you have mentioned that the fourth element is Gur Prasad. And I have seen you perform in USA, in California, last time when I met you, that before singing, you offer a small prayer, ardas, to the Guru to make you capable of reciting or entering into the true spirit of the Shabad. Mangalacharan. So, what do you mean by that when you are saying it is Guru's grace, although you are performing it, you are singing it, others are also joining you? Where does the Guru come from?
All the wisdom, whatever little bit or recognized information I have, all of your blessings and the Sangat's blessings out there, showering upon me. The reason behind is my master, my Guru, my teacher, who made me capable. There is a Vidya Guru and there is a Sat Guru. And at that stage, at the Gurdwara, it doesn't belong to my Vidya Guru. It belongs to my Sat Guru, Sri Guru Granth Sahib. So, my spiritual connection, there is a physical connection, there is a mental connection, there is a spiritual connection. You and me can have a physical or a mental connection. That's in our hands. But spiritual connection, Dr. Pashaura Singh, is very, very, very difficult to establish. And that connection, if that can be established, which I have seen those, which Scientology probably today will look for those effects. I had an injury in my physical life, where everybody said, no, this guy's gone. Kaput machine is done, cooked. So it was a Shabad Guru, is a master who taught me how to actually, now what I learned from my Vidya Guru, to utilize as a listening. And how do I compose? And here I am in front of you. I think I'm the healthiest person, a very happy, content person because of my master. And that performance, what you saw on the stage, it wasn't because of the Vidya only. There is the grace of Guru's blessing, the hug, that the me thriving for a one little touch of Guru, a kiss on my forehead, and kind of saying to me, good work, son. very nice. You know, keep it up, kind of thing, from my Satguru. I'm still learning from my Satguru so that I can get into the anhad of Vaheguru.
Okay. Why I raise this question is, in olden times at Darbar Sahib itself, the Granthis were so knowledgeable about the ragas and the kirtan technicalities. If any ragi jatha performs there and it is not impacting on the audience or on the listeners, then the Granthi will say, stop here, you are not creating that required mood inside the Darbar Sahib. Is it that they were just performing kirtan, they were not offering their prayer in the beginning to involve the Guru in their recitation, in their musical performance?
That's the answer to your first question. What is the difference between the Indian music and the Gurmat Sangeet?
Okay.
That if you don't involve yourself, if a Bani, you can, Satguru says, avar upadesa aap na kare,
right,
avat javat janme mare. If the kirtan first is not applied in your life, and if you are doing for an audience, then
right,
it's not kirtan. If this is a contemplation moment between your soul and mind, and you are putting that at front of people, that how do you do it,
right,
then it will do that. Vidya vichari tapar upakari. That's where you are doing that. Whatever you've learned, you're applying it to doing the vichar, then it will do the parupakar. Then people may thrive from it, may not. And ragis or the performers have that's the difference between Indian classical performer. They say they do it for the divine too. I mean, Indian music's origin is from Trus Padas.
right.
Yeah, its origin is from the bandagi, from the worship. It is the sound from the temples to the people's heart. But then with the Persian influence, the Mughal influence,
right,
with the Turk coming in, with the British coming in, it turned into, of course, entertainment as well.
Another experience that I had during my recent visit to Darbar Sahib was in the last, musical chauki, Kalyan di chauki, or Kirtan Sole di chauki. I went to inside the Darbar Sahib and did my Matha Tekna, and then I requested that attendant, Sevadar, to allow me to sit behind the ragis. And he graciously, agreed. I sat there for about 45 minutes and listened to the whole chauki. In my experience at that moment, I found a difference between the experience of listening to kirtan while sitting over there or listening to kirtan from Darbar Sahib from the video or the television, in California. What do you think is the difference here? Is it the place or the inner sanctum of Darbar Sahib, that when kirtan you listen inside the Darbar Sahib, its impact is much more pronounced than when you listen from outside or on the television?
This is called in the science electromagnetic field. And the Guru as a scientist, Guru Nanak, using that very, very, that's why the Sangat has been created. What has been processed and is kind of crystal energy and it comes to you through the television will not ever have the same impact as it will have it in a congregation, because everybody's thought process, the anhad is striking you again and again and again. So there will be physical impact. And that's why Guru Arjan Pacha knowingly established the Sangat formation, that you gather together for a blissful experience. You be there in the presence, and many of you. First, you have to be present within you, your body, mind and soul has to be united as a sangat. Then many like these, the sadhus, the sadhe bande जिन्होंने साधे अपने आप ਨੂੰ सिद्ध ਕੀਤਾ है, yogis जिन्हों ने capable ਕੀਤਾ अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦੇ union ਦੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਣ, and that's the beauty. And when like-minded, when you and myself and other people from academia will sit down, we will talk things on a very different level.
Right.
You know, that's why that left impact on you. If we do our bit, if we create the union amongst us, within us, and then Guru's, that science, I think Satguru is the guide who proves this is the fact. I asked, what's in it for me? Why should I go to Gurdwara? Why not to a mutt of Buddhis? I wanted to become Buddhist. That was my favorite, my first choice. To me was, I want to become Buddhist. I thought what was projected to me that the Sikhs are very violent.
Okay.
They are like a very aggressive. Islamic tradition, very violent. There was a lot of war in Hinduism and all of that. And till I didn't get to the Ashoka, Ashoka was not a Buddha.
Right.
Yeah. He wasn't Buddha. But the philosophy actually, he was a Bodhi. Philosophy actually was very close to me. But then seeing it from other angle, from the art of life, how the composition, Guru Arjan Pasha have given us a curriculum that, we got to, it's an individual's path. And that pulled me into it. And the individual's path, the art of life aspect in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, not a religious. I don't think the Sikhi can be actually translated into a word called religion in a way, because Baba Sheikh Farid belongs to a different religion. Kabir, Sadhana, Talochan, San, all belongs to different religion.
Right.
Guru Nanak also says, his concept says, Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib says, na Hindu, na Musliman, Allah Ram ke Pind Pran. It clears the composition of a humanity. That not a man-made philosophy, labels and how, I usually say to my students, if I go to mosque, am I going to go to hell? If I go to mosque, they believe in the same God, we say Ik Oankar, then the God, how come the God is different than in a mosque or in a temple or in a mutt or in the Gurdwara or in my heart? The Satguru gives us that connection. Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib is actually guiding us as a teacher, saying, okay, this module is here in your life, and this module is here, and you've got to do this homework.
Okay.
That's why we say part and lesson. So, if we're not going to, Dr. Sahib, going to look into that era, professorship at the university didn't made me to go in a box. This is a university system and I have to work in the university system. Of course I have to, but there are ways, they are very creative too. If we can work into that, saying, okay, my Satguru have written this. I put it to them that this is written by Sahib Sri Guru Arjan Maharaj, compiled it together, and this is going 400 years back. And the proof is this, and now what we take from it. Why did he say Asa? What's in it for me? I have to see that.
Right.
So that what's in it for me is a very important question, Dr. Saab. Otherwise, we can't resolve anything.
Another related question is, what is the use of Gumbad in the Gurdwaras? When you are performing Kirtan inside the Gurdwara, then the Gumbad is there, the sound currents echo.
Okay. The microphones and all of this came now.
Yeah, right.
Everything was
before
acoustic.
That, it was Gumbad.
Gumbad, because the acoustic, 400, 500, 600 people sitting inside can hear it very clearly.
Right.
So architecture was created in a way so the sound is clear, microtonal level. It's very clear to everybody. So that's why the Gumbads or a particular shapes were created. You see, that's not only in the Gurdwara or in mosques or in Hindu temples. You'll see Mat and even the churches in the same format, that there's some sort of acoustic formula is utilized for so that sound can travel to everybody.
Yeah. Okay, my next question is, what is the uniqueness of the Raga system of Guru Granth Sahib? How do you think that the Ragas used by the Gurus are quite distinctive? The same Ragas can be used in Indian classical system or in the entertainment at the same time. But why are those Ragas picked up or chosen by the Gurus? Is there any rationale behind their selection?
Yeah, of course. In Sri Guru Granth Sahib, there are 60 rags used. There are some variations like Punjabi University Patiala or Guru Nanak Dev University Amritsar or University in Chandigarh will probably have a different formations. 60 rags, according to what I've gone through, 60 rags used in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. And out of 60 rags, 32 rags are not found into any Granth before Sri Guru Granth Sahib prior to that. 32 rags out of the 60, only 28 rags are found in Indian classical music tradition. Yeah.
Just count some of them that are unique.
Okay, for example, Maj.
Okay,
for example, Asa. For example, Tukharis, Vadhans, Gaudi Cheti, Gaudi Mala, Gaudi Viragan, Gaudi Dakhani. These Rag Jajavanti by Guru Tegh Bahadur Pasha. There's no reference before to Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj. Like, if we look into unbiasedly,
right.
Not as a believer, Sikh, I will say everything belongs to my Satguru Sarv Kala Samratya.
Right.
In that way I will say nothing is without my Satguru. But from an academic viewpoint, those rags, 32 rags in Sri Guru Granth Sahib are not found outside of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj parameter before that time. 28 are. Now, why those rags were used, why the other rags are not used, even these rags,
which are common.
In Sri Guru Granth Sahib, 60 rags have the other dimension. There, if there is no negative, there can't be positive.
Right.
Positive and negative creates that magnetic field. I usually say this, that the gun is not good or bad. It's the user of it.
Right.
The rag is not good or bad. It's the user of it. But some tools are not, they can't serve the purpose. For example, the music, from when we will take it from musicology angle, then these rags are perfect sort of curriculum for human psyche. Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj gave a structure to compose a human psyche, the first asa.
Okay.
Then other rags, then Sri rags, number 6 point. Then all,
Just hold on. You are making the Asa Raga as the first Raga of Guru Granth Sahib?
Of course it is. The proof is that after Japji, the Slok Pavan Guru Pani Pita, the first rag comes, so the rag Asa Mahla Pehla, Kar Pehla. So that's the proof. I mean, it doesn't matter what Shiv Mat people will say. Shiv Mat will say the first rag is Sri rag. According to the same way, the Pairo Mat, Hanumat people will say the first rag is a Pairo. So where is our Mat? So we will see a Pratham Rag Pairo we at the end. But then Tatkara we say Sri rag. Actually, if you look into the reality of it, the first rag in Sri Guru Granth Sahib is neither Sri rag, that's number 6, or neither it is a Pairo. It's a first rag in a writing. Just go to Sri Guru Granth Sahib, open it, and see where is Sri Rag after the Asa. The first Rag appears is Sodar Rag Asa Mahla Pehla. That's the evidence. The first Rag in
this is
Gurmat
okay.
tradition.
Physical location is there. That's the evidence. But Asa Rag is also comes in the sequence of the ragas.
Yeah. So is Gaudi.
Gujri,
yeah.
Right.
Now there is Gaudi Deepki, which does not come into that sequence. It's only appeared. There's only one Shabad. So Allah Ra Gaudi Deepki Mahla Pehla. In the sequence is Ra Gaudi Purbi Deepki Mahla Pehla. Tum gavo mere nirpau ka sohila havari jao jit sohila sada sukh hoye. That is in the sequence, but the Ra Gaudi Deepki is not in the sequence of Gaudi. It's only available before Sri Rag.
I will come to this point later on because, for example, Ragmala gives you a list of 84 rags, and out of those 84 ragas or rags, only 1/3 of that list is used in the Guru Granth Sahib, 21 or something, and 2/3, 63 ragas are not used in the Guru Granth Sahib. So then, what is the rationale behind the decision to include the Ragmala at the end of the Guru Granth Sahib?
I very much avoid this question.
Okay.
Always, because the people are not willing to open their heart to from educational viewpoint, and they are just, they say, okay, this is what it is, and this is how it's going to be. But because we are sitting here in an academic interview, I would like to share my viewpoint.
Okay.
There are 60 rags in Sri Guru Granth Sahib up front, including those rags like Sri Rag and Gaudi and other rags in Gujari, Pairo, which existed in before Guru's time, Vedic time, I will say. If we fail to understand the musicology angle of these rags, we will not understand why there is Ragmala or why there isn't Ragmala, part of Bani.
No, my perspective is like this. I will say the Ragmala is included with the purpose of highlighting the distinctive raga system of the Guru Granth Sahib. By choosing 21 ragas from the Ragmala, or 1/3 of the list from the Ragmala, Guru Arjan is making the statement that we have made a selection out of the prevailing raga system of North India at that time. Ragmala was very popular in Punjab, in North India at that time. So by including this, Guru Arjan is clearly making a statement that the Sikhs or the Ragis need to understand the selection process. Deepki, Gaudi Deepki. Deepak Rag is not used independently in the Guru Granth Sahib, but it is used as a Gaudi Deepki. At that time, there was a belief that if you sing Deepak Rag, it will create fire.
But these are myths. I mean, honestly, I say the emotional grid this is. Like Gaudi Deepki has got nothing to do with the Gaudi and the Deepki. This is independent personality. When you will put white and red, is neither white or neither red left. It will create a different formation.
Yeah, it's a Mishrat Rag.
Mishrat Rag.
Okay,
now,
then that impact of Gaudi Deepki, if Deepak is much more extreme in its impact on the mind, then that extremeness is toned down by mixing it with Gaudi, which is Gambhir, which is a reflective melody. The reflective melody tones down the extreme impact of Deepak.
I'll take you into a first chapter, like Asa, Sundarbh Ese vich. Asa de vich agge tin rag hor milde. Asavri,
right.
Asa Kafi, and Asa Asavri.
Asa Asavri?
Yes, there is a Shabad.
In Asa Asavri.
Of course. ऐसे लालन पायो री सखी घर 17वां इसे ही इत्थे ही लभदा है सिर्फ there is no other application of Kar Starma, except this Shabad.
Right.
Asa Asavri, Satguru says, if Satguru wrote Asa and then Satguru wrote Asavri, then why did Guru wrote Asa Asavri? If Satguru wrote Asa, then why there was a purpose to mellow it down with a Kafi, Asa Kafi? Individuality, we can't just go after a mythological aspect of like Deepak will burn us down. There was a purpose. The people were singing the Deepak and it was burning their desires. But in the curriculum of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj did not use that. There was a purpose. Like for example, there's a two rags that took birth at the same time.
Right.
One rag is called Tanasari, another called Pimplasi.
Right.
They're same notes. They have very similar personality, but their Wadi is different.
Okay.
One is Wadi is a Pa, and Sa is Tanasari, and Pimplasi is a Ma, and Sa. The difference of the Murchana is musicology. What Pimplasi is doing, the look what I can do, is a very kind of emotion which will pump up your egoism.
Okay.
Is like a beam in a Mahabharata. Krishna let me get into the battlefield. I'll teach them lesson where Arjun is always surrendering and saying, you are on my side, I ain't gonna be defeated by anybody. So that's why Tanasari came in and Pimplasi didn't. That's why Asavri came in and Jaunpuri didn't. Yeah, that's why there is a very similarity that there is a Bilawal and there is a Nat available parallel because that's why the Gauri and the Pero, the same structure. Yeah, Satguru. If we forget, for example, for a moment, that is only Sarigamapada.
Right.
The technical term. If we look into what Sa and Re and Ga put together and a little bit mean or a little bit khatka at this pace, this tempo, what sort of emotion it will create. Now, a person crying using sound.
Right.
A person laughing using sound. But what is the difference? What make it a cry? That sound, when we hear it, how do we recognize this is a cry and this is a laughter?
Right.
And that musicology, sir, if we look into that, Ragmala is not a question anymore. But the problem is, you're going to answer Ragmala's question, I'm going to answer Ragmala's question. It's not going to change anything.
No, I have no problem with the Ragmala being included in the Atgranth because I have the rationale.
And neither
I have the understanding because there was a reason behind Guru's decision and Guru was supreme to make that decision.
But there are also scholars, Dr. Saab, saying, they're trying to prove it.
Right.
I was reading a book written Mandavani for
Mandavani, Gyani Gurdat Singh. Right.
There are a lot of other research I've looked into. Professor Tara Singh has a book on as a Sri Guru Granth Sahib Rag Ratanavali. There are so many. There was one person, he came to me, he said, as a teacher, will you put a test to your student at the end? I said, yes, of course. He said, why? I said, I want to know that what student have learned. Did he or she achieved or not? And he said, Guru also put the test at the end, that what did you learn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ragmala is a test paper. That did you achieve anything or not? But my basically what I would like to say here, if I haven't understood about the terminology and musicology and the application of asa, there's no way I'm gonna go beyond Jajavanti to the Ragmala and be able to understand. Those are just kind of ideas we're throwing up in the air.
Okay. There is Pothi at Bhai Veer Singh Sahib Sadan, Bahubal's Pothi. In that Pothi, most of the Shabads in the Basant Rag are recorded under Handol Mela Panjma. There is no Basant. So, in the Kartarpur manuscript, in the final or authoritative text created by Guru Arjan, it is under Basant Rag or sometimes Basant Handol. When you read about Handol in Ragmala, for example, ਪੁਨਾਇਓ ਹੰਡੋਲ ਪੰਚ ਨਾਰ ਸੰਗ ਅਸ਼ਟ ਸੁਤ ਉੱਠੈ ਤਾਨ ਕਲੋਲ ਗਾਇਨ ਤਾਰ ਮਲਾਵੇ। ਹੰਡੋਲ ਰਾਗ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਚਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਉੱਠੈ ਤਾਨ ਕਲੋਲ ਗਾਇਨ ਤਾਰ ਮਲਾਵੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਟੋਨ ਡਾਊਨ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹੀ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਵਰਤ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਵਰਤ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਵੋਕ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਗੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤਾਨਾ ਜਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਾਗ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਦਰਸ਼ਨੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੰਤਵ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਮਨੋਰਥ ਹੈ, ਰਾਗ ਦਾ ਪਰਪਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਹਿਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਸੰਤ ਹੰਡੋਲ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰਤਾ, ਮਿਸ਼ਰਤ ਰਾਗ ਬਣਾਤਾ। ਅਤੇ
I agree with the many angles of your philosophy and the theory ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ question ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉਹ will require a musicology angle.
Okay.
ਇਹ ਦੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਆਨਸਰ ਹੈਗੇ। ਨੰਬਰ 1 ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪੁੱਟ ਟੁਗੈਦਰ ਕੀਤਾ,
ਰਾਈਟ,
ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਪੋਥੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਜਾਂ ਰੈਫਰੈਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਲੈ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਲਈ, ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜਾਂ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਜਾਂ ਸਦਨਾ ਧੰਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਰਾਗ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਣੀ
ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਹਾਂ,
ਪਰ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੈਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਵੈਸ਼ਨਵਿਜ਼ਮ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰਤਾ ਧਰਤਾ ਹੋਏ, wherever he put the bani, he put Gujari, Ashtapadiya, and Satguru took as it is.
Right.
But where Bhagat Kabir's bani was not written under the title rag, then Guru sanctioned the rag.
Right.
Thinking a purpose of a composition of a human psyche. So then Guru Arjan decided which rag to go. I was looking into what the evidence you have given here the Pothi. There was a Shabad under Tanasiri Dakhani that doesn't exist in Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Okay.
Guru Arjan decided where he will put which rag. In many of those Shabads, he even changed the rag on top.
Right.
But now for us, the authenticated text or the script is Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Because everything else has been either changed or adapted to new mechanism.
Yeah, a reduction process was there.
Yeah. But Guru Arjan had that authority to use Hindol Shabad in a Basant or Basanta Hindol. Now Basant is there. Basant's purpose is like Aaj Hamare Grah Basant. Mean the inner blossom.
Right.
And in inner blossom, there's a Basant and Hindol is in inner blossom, that joy, that creativity of that being into the state of thankful and gratitude. It was a Basanta Hindol. We have to look into one question again and again, that why did Guru put Basant there?
Okay.
Or why did Guru put Basant Hindol there? What was the purpose?
Right.
And what's in it for me? Once we get that, it's not just a Guru's hukum. Yeah, of course, this is Guru's hukum.
Right.
Then, of course, there is Sare Ma, Pada Sa, whatever is used for the rag. But why? And unless we start looking into that sector, we will never get to the bottom of it, the purpose behind, the composition behind Guru Arjan's psyche to put a rag on top. ਫੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਕਾਹਤੋਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਲਿਖਦੇ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਅਸਰ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਕਾਹਤੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਸੰਤ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਬਸੰਤ 'ਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੀ ਹਦਾਇਤ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਧ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਐਂਗਲ ਨੂੰ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
ਓਕੇ, now I would like to ask the question about kar. This is very important because there are a number of explanations. Some people will say kar reflects tal, Others will say, kar stands for a regional variety, A recent work, has been done by an economist, on the basis of statistical data, in Gaudi Rag, for example, there is no kar used in Gaudi Rag. Either Gaudi Gwarari, Gaudi Deepki, Gaudi Purbi, Gaudi Malwa. There is no kar mentioned in the Gaudi Rag at all.
Thing is, Dr. Saab, may I interrupt here? The people been writing over, like Pathkhande was a lawyer. and a new, now you mentioned economicist. You need musicologist to give you idea, or terminologist to what ghar was. Basically, let's go into the first very first chapters. This is the book written by Matang Muni, Sri Matang
Sage
Muni.
Matang.
Yeah, Sage Matang called Brahdeshi. This is AD Granths. Yeah, and there is another book in about 200 to 700 years gap is called Dattalim by Dittala. The guy, the Muni Dittala wrote Dattalim. This is a Natya Shastra time. And now, if you need to have explanation over ghar in a musical form, all you had to do is look into these. It's a very simple explanation written in this. We don't need to use our own ideology or, kind of think maybe Guru meant it that way. If Guru Arjan's time period was about Gram and Murchana, then this applies.
Right.
Without Grasor, without Kar, Rag is never completed. Because every single Rag, mentioned or not, will have a Grasor.
ਇਹ ਫਿਰ ਰਾਗੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ? ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ।
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਸੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕੈਡੈਮਿਕ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਕਦੀ ਲਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਬਈ ਉਹ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨੀ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਾੜੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ। ਦ ਮਿਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਸੈਟ in between us and emotionally blackmailed us.
Okay.
It made us as traditional fools. And it's thanks to the academia that nothing is hidden. मैं अपने मित्र ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, don't lie in the presence of Guru. Guru ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇਹ ਤੇਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਵਾਚਾ। ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਗਵਾਚ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਭਾਈ? ਰਾਈਟ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਗਵਾਚੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੁਰਤੀ ਗਵਾਚੀ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਧੁਨੀ ਗਵਾਚ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੋਲਾ ਗਵਾਚ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਰਾਗ ਗਵਾਚ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਸੁਰ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਪੱਧਤੀ ਗਵਾਚ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖੋ, ਸਿੰਪਲ ਥਿੰਗ, ਲੈਟ ਮੀ get into this. This is no tradition. This is a very fundamental, very first note. Microtone ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ 22 ਸ਼ਰੂਤੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ। There are 22 microtones in a musical gram. There's a 3 type of grams: Sharaj gram, Madhyam gram, and Gandharv gram. So there are 3 different sort of numbers used for a scale. And majority of the time is a Sharaj and a Madhyam gram utilized in a vocal singing. Okay. So Shabad both will apply. So there is a formula called 4-3-2, 4-4-3-2. The 4 microtones for Sa, 3 for Re, 2 for Ga, 4 for Ma. Yeah? Okay. Now, 22 microtones makes a gram. Okay. But then Murchana is Vadi, Samvadi, Nyas, Anuvadi, and Vivadi. Okay. I'm not pulling this from myself. This is Dattalim. And if you go to this particular book, which is published by Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, if you go into a page number 5, and you will find what I'm talking about is written here. This is AD Granth. Okay. If I need to do Bani according to that philosophy of Gram and Murchana, then I need to have the Brahdeshi and the Dattalam understood. Very simple theory. And why Guru use the ghar on and what makes me say that this is not Tal. Tal is Tanasri Mahalla Panjwa, Ghar Panjwa, Partal. Does Guru contradict himself here? ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ Partal is there. ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ 5 ਤਾਲ ਦੀ ਸਵਾਰੀ, the ghar is a ਪੰਜਵਾਂ. If this is a tal with 5 ਤਾਲ ਦੀ ਸਵਾਰੀ or with the 5 beats, whatever you say, I don't want to go into this side, then why? My question is, Guru wrote it Partal there. Okay. Did he forget? Or did he made a mistake? Or is he contradicting? I don't think so, because there's a 52 plus Partals. He did not made mistake. The evidence is this. The Satguru says, Rag Asavari Mahalla Chautha Kar Solma Ke Do Sudhang. Yeah, Sudhang, Shodhang. Yeah. Pure notes. The now Kar Solma will go in a Shodhang. So that has to be audible, not just a musicology temperament of it. It should be very clear, audible. Microtone number 16, which is called Sandeepani.
Can you practically demonstrate me by singing that this kar is, the impact of the kar or the meaning of the kar is there?
The Shabad is by Guru Chauthe Pacha is How An Din Har Naam Kirtan Karo, Satgur Moko Har Naam Bataya, How An Din Khin Pal Reh
Na sako.
How Har Bin Khin Pal Reh Na Sako. Now, if I translate that into Hindi or Punjabi or in English, it can have a kind of egoistic spin.
Okay.
You know, just from poetic angle.
That I am doing it.
Yeah.
How and then.
Now, Sandeepani is a neutralizer. This is like a really cool microtone. Is bringing the balance.
Okay.
And Satguru says Asavri, and Asavri's Wadi Sur is Dhakomal.
Dhakomal.
And very dominant. Han din har naam kirtan karo, Asavri. But if I put the gra here, the kar, solva, han din har naam kirtan karo, it turns it into the prayer. It just changes the whole hue. Like, for example, tea, cup of tea. You put the tea bag and you put water and sugar in it. That's a tea, right?
Right.
And if you put pinch of lemon in it, that's a lemon tea.
Lemon
the pinch of lemon or pinch of ginger, that flavor is grassor.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
That's what grassor does. It doesn't change the potency of rag.
Okay.
It just changes a little. It gives it a little extra momentum.
So, are you saying that kar adds a flavor to the singing?
It depends where Satguru is. Yeah, of course. I mean, a flavor, a particular, where Satguru is instructing. He's saying, in Asavri, if you will sing this Shabad, it'll boost up your ego. Therefore, I place 16th microtone on top so that how is now being diluted to the balance. Is that balanced mind and soul, which with the Guru Prasad, with the Kirpa, is doing Kirtan, rather than is I'm doing it. So that's the purpose of microtone being there. All the 17 kar used in Sri Guru Granth Sahib have a very, very particular purpose. All of these questions can be answered and also are audible.
Okay.
But you've got to, again, I said, you've got to see it, you know, the taste aspect, the musicology aspect. Apa idda kar lida vi atta liya te pani paya te gun liya te odi fe vel ke onu roti ban gayi. Par ਉਹ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਟੈਕਨੀਕੈਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਟਰਮਸ ਐਂਡ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਆਟਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਫਾਇਰ ਪਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਵਾਦ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਦੈਟਸ ਅ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਫੜਾਂਗੇ ਓਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਆ ਗੁੰਝਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਐਵੇਂ ਉਲਝਦੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ that's very interesting I have learned a lot my next question is what is the chonki system at the Darbar Sahib
when missionaries came in and there was the failure of invasion failure of invasion in the Sikhs Turk or Mughals failed they failed to do to find out the core of how these people get together what is the unity what is uniting them is this pool at Darbar Sahib Purdio and it still didn't finish you know what is it Sri Guru Granth Sahib okay now take the Sri Guru Granth Sahib away and they did all sort of things but what missionaries did they separated the soul they put Ladi War to Padshad
okay
they you know just separated thing surti todti now the chonki system was in a way a kind of repair mechanism from Mahants or thriving from the Satguru Maharaj at the morning after the Japji there will be Asa ki War going on. So that they created the chowki. Very much a chowki system in Hindu temples.
Okay.
And we're trying to bring a line between two traditions.
Ashtayam.
We created those sort of things. But when we go to the Guru's court, you don't find any historic evidence of such things in a chowki. That tradition is more Nirmala tradition or Mahant Udasi tradition in Darbar Sahib only.
Okay.
We don't have that tradition documented in any other way but from Darbar Sahib. It doesn't really hit any wrong side. There's nothing wrong with having a chowki system, but that also there's only danger is turning reality to the ritual.
Okay.
That's the only danger. And if we are careful, if we know that the purpose behind setting up this chowki system was to carry on a particular way of doing a practice, and missionary didn't break this because it was serving their purpose. It was actually creating a division between two schools of thought. So they didn't touch this. So Mahants and all of these people were actually promoted to carry on with this.
One of the recent emphasis on research on music is based on the theory of performance studies. How you carry on the music, how you actually perform it. If the chowki system is understood according to the performance theory, then there is a rationale behind it that 8 chowkis were established by Guru Arjan. Out of those 8, there were 5 chowkis at that time where they will offer ardas and distribute kada prasad, had special significance. 8 chowkis were established in the beginning to because 8 ashtjams, according to Atpahar, it was a Vaishnava tradition in major historical mandars or shrines. And Akbar adapted that system, rather Babur, adapted that system, and Akbar refined that system and started the 5 times Naubat in his darbar. No matter if Akbar is there or not, but at those particular 5 times, they will play the music. Naubat is a particular way of
Sufian tradition, yes, Naubat.
Performance of music. That will show to the public, to the whole nation, or the people that the king's presence is there because Naubat is there. Musical performance was meant to underline the presence of the king, the authority of the king, and the survival of the kingdom. Guru Arjan combined these 2 traditions together, Ashtjam from the Hindu tradition and 5 Naubats from the Muslim tradition, and created a unique system of chowkis to underline that divine presence is always there. And this divine presence is authoritative for the Sikh community.
Dr. Sahib, sorry to interrupt you in between.
Okay.
The Gurmat Sangeet, when we're the subject area, we are looking, if I look at from the Gurmat Sangeet angle, the Shiv Mat and Hanumat have a timeline. This chowki system will push us into the time zone.
Okay.
It will push us into the time zone. ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੇ ਵਜੇ ਆਹੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ, ਇੰਨੇ ਵਜੇ ਆਹ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ, ਇਦੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਕਰਨਾ. ਹੁਣ ਬਸੰਤ ਰੁੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਬਸੰਤ ਗਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ. ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬਸੰਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਬਸੰਤ ਦੀ ਰੁੱਤ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ. ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਰਟ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਸੁੱਕੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਸੰਤ ਦਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਫੁੱਲ ਖਿੜ ਜਾਵੇ, ਨਾਮ ਦਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਫੁੱਲ ਖਿੜ ਜਾਵੇ. ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦਾ ਆਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਮਜ਼ ਹੈ ਨਾ,
ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਐਗਰੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਦੇਰ ਇਜ਼ ਨੋ ਡਿਸਐਗਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਐਟ ਆਲ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਹੜੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਮਾਘੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਬਸੰਤ ਰਾਗ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ 'ਚ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਦਾ start ਹੁੰਦਾ.
Okay, I you know, we've been through this many times. Darbar Sahib tradition, or the history going back 100 years odd, does not reflect the soul, the 100% of practice from the court of gurus. For example, history of Darbar Sahib also says Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj ਨੂੰ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਵੜਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ.
ਹਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ.
ਨਗਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਅਕਬਰ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ 'ਚ ਨੌਬਤ ਵੱਜਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਗਾਰਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ 'ਚ ਪਹਾੜੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਦੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਨਗਾਰਾ. I don't disagree with the concept can be there, but we need to be aware that Satguru set up a very great spiritual practice open for all of the four varnas, all of the communities. He was a beloved of the Sufis. He was beloved of the Qazis, Hindus. He was loved by everybody. And he wanted humans to love humans.
Right.
So he broke all the so-called existed traditions to create the reality of life. He said, you know, it's all about smile. So compose yourself to have a happy lifestyle by giving an art of life. I'm not historian. Honestly, I don't know how the trail of these chunkies and purpose goes behind.
Right. Yeah. For example, you know, just in Savan da Meena chadya, I mean, I was there. They started reciting Malar Raga at Darbar Sahib most of the time, and I went to other Gurdwaras too. They were singing Malar Raga.
But
according to season, according to mood, according to time, there was a practice in the music tradition.
That's a Shiv Mat practice. If you say Guru Granth Sahib, it says Maj, Bara Mah, Tukhari, Bara Mah.
Right.
Yeah. So why not Maj and why not Tukhari? Why Malhar? And what is okay, I'm not talking about any other Granths and historic books. I'm talking about Sri Guru Granth.
Right.
And what does Sri Guru Granth says about the Savan? But you know, Bara Mah written in a Maj.
Right.
I went to Gurdwara, Dr. Sahab, and Bapu Sarvan Singh was doing. He was a very old gentleman.
Yeah, old fellow. Are you talking about that blind man?
No, it was not very great.
Singh, that was Sant Sarvan Singh, I think.
This is Hassanpur. And this guy sat in the Gurdwara and went like, I went to learn from him Maj. That day it was Vaisakhi.
Okay.
And he took the hukam of Guru, then he went for the Barama, the Mahina is Vaisakh Tiran Kyo Vadiya Jna Prem Bicho. It just made my life go still. That
the way he recited.
And I said, you know, can you kindly teach me Maj? He said, this is what Maj is. There's no, now I understand the notes he was doing part belongs to Raga Maj. But you know, the musicology, the bilp and the trikha, the lochana, the onsiya was there. And that day I took a great deal of interest in Bara Maha. That, you know, all of these, you know, heart, the pandat, the longings are there. And Satguru wanted to provoke a longing, not a particular time period. Be inne baje aa raag gao, inne baje aa rutte aa raag gao, savan khulya ta malar gao. You know, that's all rituals set up by, you know, leaked in tradition from, as you say, Ashtang, Ashtayam, or other traditions. We're not a tradition from traditions. We have our own tradition, is which has been written. It's academic evidence available is Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Satguru writes the Maj for or Tukhari, the Bara Mah.
Okay.
I don't disagree.
No.
You know, that's another angle.
Like another angle to understand the system. But ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਚੁਅਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਕਸਟਮਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੰਡਰ ਐਸਟੀਮੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਟ ਦੇ ਹੈਵ ਵੈਰੀ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਔਨ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਟੂ ਹੋਲਡ ਦ ਹੋਲ society together. Rituals play a very important, significant role. So
ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਇੱਕ question ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
that a Sikh under the influence of the society in Punjab is vegetarian.
right.
Yeah? That means that ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਗਲੂ ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ Antarctic ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂ up Greenland ਚ, ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣ ਸਕਦਾ because there's no vegetation available.
Yeah, right.
I mean, tradition must not imposed, yeah, right. Yeah, I personally think, ਜਿਹੜੀ lifestyle and tradition, they go parallel,
right,
but they should not influence each other.
Yeah, right. I fully agree. ਸਾਡੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਨੋ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋ ਵੀ ਨੰਗੇ ਪੈਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ, you are walking in the snow. So you have to
hypothermia and those ਸਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ
right. So ਉੱਥੇ ਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਮਤਲਬ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ, ਮਤਲਬ according to weather conditions,
in army ਜਿੱਦਾਂ tradition. And ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਾਉਣਾ. Somebody told me a big lesson about it, that ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ somebody made a complaint that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ, ਅਸਤਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਕਰਨ ਡਿਆ ਲੰਗਰ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਸਿੱਖ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਰੋੜਾ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਫੜਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਰ ਥੱਲੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਖੰਡਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਂਜਣ ਡਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਕਰਦੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ to teach a lesson, he went to ਲੰਗਰ and he said ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਜਾ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਨਮਾਨ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਇਹ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਜੁਗਤਾਂ ਆ. So the people started putting their swords on their head and ਬੱਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤਾ. ਐਂਡ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਔਖਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਸਾਫ਼ ਜੰਗ ਲੱਗ ਜੂਗਾ. ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਡ ਆਈ ਸੇਡ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਕਰੋ, ਤਾਂ ਉਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਕਰੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਰੌਂ, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਲੈ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੀ ਟੈਂਪੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਨਾ ਕਿ ਗੱਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈਦਾ. ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਇਜ਼ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਯੂ ਐਂਡ ਮੀ ਕੈਨ ਸੈਟ ਅਪ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਪਸ਼ੌਰਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਦਾ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਸੈਟਅਪ ਕਰਤਾ. that does not mean that the only tradition available. ਉਹ ਸੁਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ, that does not mean that ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਦਾ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
so there are different ways of course understanding the same thing. ਹੁਣ question ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ, I want to come to the introduction of string instruments, tanti saz. I mean, you are teaching basically the string instruments and you are reviving the tradition, and you have been fighting for introducing this again in the Darbar Sahib and other Gurdwaras, and this is very noble task. You are basically going back to the original tradition rather than using harmonium and other instruments. What is the scope of this movement?
1840 Alexander Deben created a bellow piano. And it was 1840. Okay. It manifested in India in 1900, a little bit before, or some say 1904. It turned out to be harmonium of today. Right. Accordion in West again, and also available in India. But they have a drawback. It cannot produce kar.
It can, okay, now I understand the meaning of kara.
Yeah, it can't produce that da re na re. It cannot. Only tanti saz like rabab, saranda, sarangi, or taus, dilruba can do that.
Okay.
That microtonal range is not. I'm not anti-harmonium. Okay. ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ, ਹਵਾ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਸੁਰਤ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ. Right. But for a very basic purpose of learning, a Vidya Guru must adapt for a Gurmat Sangeet, for even Indian music of past. Right. Vidya Guru must adapt the Tanti Saz.
Okay.
If you want to learn the real magic, real bliss of it, then Tanti Saz is the crucial, is a lifeline for your training.
Okay.
Otherwise, you won't understand it. Vaja will actually make you deaf.
Oh,
Tone
actually, it's very simple, easy to learn. People have learned it, now they are saying, why to spend so much time on learning Tanti Saz? And to learn Tanti Saz string instruments is really difficult.
No, sir.
It demands time and
energy. It's a 10 times easier than harmonium.
How?
Because it just uses 1 or 2 fingers. And it's a 10 times more easier. And the reason is you can relate it.
Okay.
Tuning your saj, tuning yourself. And if you can relate it, a missionary didn't want that. Okay. You to relate to yourself, you will be awakened again. You will again have that focus. You will know that we've been ruled by, we are under somebody's thumb. And that's the sole purpose. That in your Baba hon, inne Guru de Sikh hon labbe ekna.
Right.
Hanji hon asi, who am I to revive this? Nobody. I think it's all of us. We need to go back into that sector, Dr. Saab.
No, I enjoyed, when I listened to you perform in America the first time, and you were playing Saranda and Jasveer was playing Rabab. I mean, it was a different experience than just to listen the same shabd being recited on with tabla and harmonium.
Because the shabad is leading, is 99% shabad. And music, these are just an aid from the back, as creating a mood and that feel for it. And the very first, earlier in this, you asked a question, when we play, the synchronization.
Right.
That combination between body and then mind. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਗਾਉਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਏ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆ ਗਿਆ that combination here Guru Vidya Guru ne sikhaya how to play this and then Satguru is teaching how to synchronize the mind so that this message of Guru can be so Saranda and Rag pushes my longing out and replaced by Mera Man Loche Gurdarshan Tai. It just inside it just does wonders.
Okay.
And that was the sole purpose. To see Rabab Farke, you do one simple, give me a day. It's as simple as this. It's so beautiful. Ek paase Guru hove and ek paase life difficult hove.
Right.
Impossible. I don't think so. Your students, if they have to do Matha Pachi.
Right.
If they are still not learning, then what's the point you being there?
Yeah.
Your guru, your teacher there to make their life, making the riddles being solved by them. Of course, you don't carry them, but you care about them.
Right, care about them. Yeah.
And my guru does the same thing. So Rag is being given there so I can be connected. That's a missing link between us and today's a theologist and guru. Missing link is that musicology. And Tanti Saj is a primary tool to build that link. जी ਹੁਣ tradition है जी बाजे मैं California ची सी program करने गया in 2003. One of the person came to me. He said, "आ की नमाई काम खोल ले." I said, "Excuse me." He said, "वाजा किथे?" मैं क्या वाजा? What do you mean वाजा? He said, "कहते गुरु अमरदास महाराज ने क्या गुफा अंदर रख के वाजा पढ़ने बजाया तेरा वाजा किथे?" and ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ignorance ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਬਾਪੂ ਜੀ ਦੇਖੋ listen this is Alexander Day ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I don't care ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਵਾਜਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਜਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਵਾਜਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਵਾਜਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਵਾਜੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ so the ignorance is killing us our children will not stand the same chance unless academia unbiasedly place everything there.
Do you think this movement will succeed?
Of course, it's succeeded already.
You have already succeeded.
Germans and French and Spanish and Americans not going to get corrupted by a community to be sold out. They ain't gonna. They are musicologists. They do Guru Shabad 1 or 2. They try to get from inside. It's not gonna fail. ਨਾਲੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you know ਕੂੜ ਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਟੇ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਉੜਕ ਸੱਚ ਰਹੀ। ਸੋ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਇਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਖਤਰੇ 'ਚ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ? ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ। ਹਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੋਈ ਬਚਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਗੁਰ ਵਿਚਾਰ, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਭਾਈ ਉਹਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਲੱਭ ਲੈਣਾ ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਗੋਨਾ ਫਾਈਂਡ ਆਊਟ ਐਂਡ that's it's all about।
ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਖਿਆਲ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਮ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋਟੀਆਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਾਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਟਿਊਨਸ ਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਉੱਧਰ ਅਟਰੈਕਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਫਿਸਟੀਕੇਟਡ ਆਡੀਅੰਸ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਅਰਬਨ ਜਾਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ 'ਚ, ਉੱਥੇ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀਰਤਨ
ਨਹੀਂ। this has been misdefined।
okay
the genre is not rag।
okay
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਿੰਡ ਚੋਂ ਹੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਿੰਡ ਚੋਂ ਆਇਆ। ਮੈਂ ਕੁੜਤਾ ਪਜਾਮਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਚਾਦਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਲਾੜਾ ਵਾਲੀ ਪੱਗ ਬੰਨ ਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਗੱਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਜਿਉਂ ਭਜਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। but now today I'm a professor at the university। I'm still the same Surinder Singh। the genre ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੂਟ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੈ, ਕਰਵੈਟ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਟਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਈ ਹੈ, it does not changes the reality। ਹੁਣ ਖਿਆਲ ਧਰੂਪਦ they are the genres। ਰਾਗ is emotion। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਰਮਾਜ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਪੂ ਜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਰਜਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੋਲ ਬਈ ਸਤਨਾਮ 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 ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਉਂਦਾ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੌੜ ਜਾ ਫਿਰ, ਮਾਝ ਤੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਆਉਂਦਾ। ਅੱਛਾ ਬਸ ਜੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ। Mahant Ajit Singh, one of my teacher, and he used to sing this rakh leho pat meri har ju rakh leho। ਢੋਲਕੀਆਂ ਛੈਣੇ ਵੱਜਣੇ, ਸਾਰਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਸੁੰਨ। ਤੇ ਉਹ I did the study। ਜੈਤਸਰੀ 9ਵਾਂ ਮਹੱਲੇ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈ and he used to sing in ਜੈਤਸਰੀ। ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਢੋਲਕੀਆਂ ਛੈਣਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਰਾਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਉਂਦੇ। ਮਾਈਕਲ ਜੈਕਸਨ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਰਾਗ ਹੀ ਗਾਉਂਦਾ। ਰਾਈਟ। ਮਲਕੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਾਗੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਛ। ਰਾਗ ਤੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਾਂ ਮਨਪਸੰਦੀ ਦਾ ਵਰਤਿਆ। ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਰਾਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਜਨਰਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਹੈ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ। ਹੁਣ ਚਾਹੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਨਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦਾ ਆਹ ਜੋੜ ਤੋੜ ਗੱਲ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਹਿਦਾ। ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਐਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ, ਆਰਟਿਸਟਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਧਰੂਪਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੱਥ ਪੈਰ ਹਿਲਾ ਕੇ ਸਿਰ ਹਿਲਾ ਕੇ ਗਾਓਗੇ। ਤੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉੱਡ ਉੱਡ ਰਾਵਾ ਝਾਟੇ ਪਾਏ, ਵੇਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਲੋਕ ਹੱਸੈ ਹੈ ਘਰ ਜਾਏ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਨ। ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸੀਗੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਏਦਾਂ ਡਰਾਮਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ। ਪਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਵਰਡ ਦਾ ਸਾਊਂਡ, ਸੇਕਰੇਡ ਸਾਊਂਡ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਸਾਊਂਡ ਕਰੰਟ ਔਰ ਨਾਦ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਰਤੇ ਨੂੰ ਟੂਲ ਨੂੰ ਰਾਈਟ ਵੇ ਤੇ। ਡੋਂਟ ਇੰਟਰਟੇਨ, ਇਨਰਟੇਨ।
ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਰਣਧੀਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ ਜਥੇ ਦੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਰੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰੋ। ਉਹ ਰਾਗਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ, ਉਹ ਰੰਗ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਸਤੀ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਰਲ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਾਰੀ, ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ?
ਇਹ ਜੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਟਰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਟਰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਈ, ਜਿਸ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਓ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ, ਇੱਕ ਬਿਨ ਸਭ ਧੰਦ ਹੈ ਸਭ ਮਿਥਿਆ ਮੋਹ ਮਾਏ, ਇੱਕ ਰਹਾਉ। ਇਹ ਰਹਾਉ ਦੀ ਤੁਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਭੇ ਥੋਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੇ ਜੇ ਆਵੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੱਥ ਹੈ ਫਸਟ ਐਵੀਡੈਂਸ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਕ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਚੱਕ ਲਈ, ਇੱਕ ਉੱਥੋਂ, ਇੱਕ ਉੱਥੋਂ, ਇੱਕ ਉੱਥੋਂ, ਫਿਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬਣਾ ਲਈ, ਫਿਰ ਰੰਗ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਗਾਈ ਜਾਓ। ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਟਰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਫਿਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵੇ। ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ? ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ? ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹੇ ਸੇਵਕ ਜਨ ਮਾਨੈ, ਜੇ ਮੰਨਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਨਮਾਤੀ ਕਰਨੀ, ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੇਵਕ ਜਨ ਮੰਨਦਾ, ਤਦ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਤੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਬਤ ਤਾਂ ਫੇਰ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਦੈਟਸ entertainment. That is not ਗੁਰਮਤ ਟ੍ਰਡੀਸ਼ਨ of any kind. ਜਿਹਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ 5 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਆਨੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਫਿਰ 40ਵੀਂ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਲਾਤੀ ਨਾਲ, that's a tradition by missionaries, SGPC. That's not a tradition of ਗੁਰੂ ਕੋਟ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਐਵੀਡੈਂਸ ਲਿਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਲਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ 40 ਸਟੈਪ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ. ਜੇ ਤੇ wanna understand the grid of bliss, anand, then this is the particular path and study this. That's the part. ਹੁਣ ਆਸਾ ਕੀ ਵਾਰ ਛੰਤ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲਿਖੇ ਨੇ? ਆਸਾ ਕੀ ਵਾਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ, ਬਾਣੀ ਛੰਤ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੋੜਿਆ, ਇੱਕ ਉੱਪਰ ਲਾਇਆ, ਫਿਰ ਦੂਜਾ ਤੋੜਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਦੂਜੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ what sort of tradition? ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਚਲਾਈ ਜਾਓ. ਗੁਰੂ ਪੰਥ ਨੇ ਡਿਸਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ and I just get very disturbed by this word. I said ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਕੱਢ ਲਓ, ਕੀ ਬਚਿਆ? ਗੁਰੂ ਪੰਥ ਚਲਾ ਲੂ ਧਰਮ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ? ਹਾਂਜੀ. So because Guru Panth is a social mechanism. The Panth is a social mechanism, and ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਤੰਤਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. I understand that. There's some sort of, there need to be some sort of uniformity required. I understand that. I'm not questioning everything, but I'm questioning under the name of that you cannot change Guru's Bani. Satguru, Shri Guru Granth Sahib, that is historic evidence. And ਹੁਣ under the name of that I'm this taksal or I'm this jata or I'm this tradition, we can't. Asa da shabad will be asa, not Rageshwari, not Bhageshwari. You can't do that because Satguru wrote it.
So don't you agree that there are different styles of singing?
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ. ਧਰੂਪਦ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਊਥ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਹੈ. ਮੇਰਾ ਗੁਰ ਦਇਆਲ ਮੇਰਾ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਤਾ ਸਾਊਥ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ. ਉੱਥੇ ਰਾਮਕਲੀ ਦੱਖਣੀ, ਮਾਰੂ ਦੱਖਣੀ, ਵਡਹੰਸ ਦੱਖਣੀ, ਤੁਖਾਰੀ ਦੱਖਣੀ, ਗੌੜੀ ਦੱਖਣੀ, ਬਿਲਾਵਲ ਦੱਖਣੀ. we have no choice, we have to learn. ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਤੀ ਵਾਰ. ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਸਾ ਕੀ ਵਾਰ ਲਿਖਤੀ, ਟੁੰਡੇ ਸਰਾਜ ਕੀ ਧੁਨੀ, ਇੰਨਾ ਔਖਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਆਪੀ ਨਹਿ ਆਪ ਸਾਜਿਓ, ਆਪੀ ਨਹਿ ਰਚਿਓ ਨਾਉ, ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੀ. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਾਗ ਨੂੰ ਕੌਣ ਸੁਣੂਗਾ? ਇਹ 2 ਘੰਟੇ.
ਢਾਡੀਆਂ ਵਾਲੀ ਟਿਊਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਹੈ.
ਇਹ ਵਾਰ ਹੈ ਜੀ,
ਵਾਰ ਹੈ, ਵਾਰ.
ਟੁੰਡੇ ਅਸਰਾਜੇ ਕੀ ਧੁਨੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਸਾ ਕੀ ਵਾਰ ਹੈ. ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਵਾਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਫੋਕ ਢਾਡੀਆਂ ਦਾ. ਹਾਂਜੀ. ਜੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਮਿੱਤਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪੜਤਾਲ ਲਿਖਤੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸੋਹਲਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵਣਜਾਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਤਾ ਛੰਤ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਤਾ ਛੰਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਜੱਤ ਜੌਨਰਾ ਲਿਖਤਾ. ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਿਕ about ਬਈ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ 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 ਕਰਨਾ. That otherwise we will challenge the whole creation of Guru Arjan.
Okay. ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਉਦਮ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ the whole effort to revive the original Gurmat Sangeet in Gurdwaras, do you have a perception that a day will come when all Ragis, Jathas, or all Gurdwaras will follow this tradition?
I am working on that. Dr. Pashaura Singh from his home picks up his rabab, come to Gurdwara, and there's a lot of doctors and professors and engineers and very educated community from home come into a Gurdwara, a particular meeting place where we all first tune up and then we start singing, all of us. That's my life goal. I won't rest till then.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Because Bhagat Bhai Gurdas ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਅੰਦਰ ਧਰਮਸਾਲ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਦਾ ਉਸਵਾ. ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੂਰ ਅੰਦੇਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ, ਗਲਤ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ? ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਚਾਕਰੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ. I really believe in that, and I've seen it. I've seen it so much possibility. We just have to embrace each other. So we have to just smile and we just have to put everything in the middle and then, under the umbrella of Satguru, we don't have problems.
Right.
We have problems when we will ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਢੋਲ ਵਜਾਉਂਗੇ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ, then we will start fighting. If we say Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib says this and we all do that, no problem.
Right.
ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਡੰਮ ਜੇ ਤੰਤੀ ਸਾਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਬਹੁਤ, ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਸੁਰ ਤਾਲ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਦਾ, ਜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਮੂਰਖ ਤੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ। ਇਨਕ੍ਰੈਡੀਬਲ। ਇਹ
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਨਿਮਰਤਾ। ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਬੜਾ। ਮੇਰੀ ਡਾਟਰ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ, ਉਹ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਜਜ਼ਰਬਾ ਵਜਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਜ਼, ਮੇਰਾ ਲੜਕਾ, ਉਹਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਤਾਊਸ, ਸਾਰੰਗੀ, ਐਵਰੀ ਇੰਸਟਰੂਮੈਂਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦੇਅਰ ਇਨ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਗੋ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੂੰਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ, ਹੀ ਵਿਲ ਗੈਟ ਇਨ ਟੱਚ ਵਿਦ ਯੂ, ਯੂ ਨੋ।
ਐਂਡ ਵਾਟ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਯੂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ?
ਮੈਂ ਉਸਨੇ ਰਬਾਬ ਪਕੜੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰਬਾਬ ਸਿਖਾ ਦਿਓ ਤੇ।
Thank you so much. See, this is only, it takes about this much, you know. That's all. My dream comes true, right?
Yeah. I will start doing rabab.
See, hummingbird thing, yeah. If we all start doing our bits, and we can come out of this net of a mahant any given day. You know, all we have to do is just our bits. Okay. That's all. It doesn't take 10-15 minutes a day, and you will see it, the whole angle. Guru is not giving you a cuckoo land word. He's not saying God this, God that. Not at all. He's saying, do you know yourself? If you ਜੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਛਾਤਾ ਭਾਈ, ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਤੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਛੱਡ ਦੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ।
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਾ, ਉਹ ਟੱਬਰ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਸਕਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ? ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਟੱਬਰ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਾ, ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਸਕਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ? ਜਿਹਨੇ ਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰੀਂ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਮਾਂ ਰੂਪ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ? ਸੋ it was something supposed to be beautiful is being turned into a chit chit bang bang.
नहीं, बहुत खूब. It was a wonderful experience to have this conversation.
And I hope we'll have many more
conversations. This is the beginning.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.